Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's been some bit of time before when we had the last media breakfast. And unfortunately, of course, the whole year last year was wasted, so we couldn't hold one like this. It was difficult. Now we are really struggling, but I'm happy that to see a full house here. Laptop was a very whole institution when I came in and joined the team. We were then about 35 or so officers in the former Kenyan Local Government Officers Fund. And the journey of CPF and the Lab Trust is a journey which we are even trying to document, because it's a journey of and a case study of a local organization, a Kanjo organization, which has become a global institution. I want to inform you members that in our journey, we have shown that wherever there's a will, there's a way, and you can do everything. We are currently being visited by very many delegations from within and outside Kenya to benchmark with what we do. We have chosen to be an innovative organization, and we have tried to change our mindset. We have brought in a new thinking and fresh thinking, where young people, young minds are utilized. Among the over 300 employees I now have in my group, more than half, even actually 3/4, are young people of less than 40 years. And the ideas are being allowed to generate. And the things you see here and others we are not seeing today are actually their own ideas, the expressions of their minds. Kenyans can do it. When I visit some of the countries I go to, when I went to America, I always admired that I should visit the tallest building then in New York, which was then the Empire State Building. I remember it took me more than three hours to go and take a long queue of so many lines and the fast lifts to the top floor and back, and I paid $40 by that visit. When I saw the number of people on that day alone who paid to go up as tourists, I realized the money is even in tall buildings, and not, apart from being landmarks, they are also tourist attractions and generators of funds. I did the same when I went to visit the Burhaj, in Dubai. And I can tell you, the first day I couldn't even get a space to go. After booking and paying the top dollar, I think I remember I had to pay more than 100 and something US dollars just to be allowed just to lift and down. You can imagine, ladies and gentlemen, and that is real. If you have never gone that, go and see it. In Kenya, our people want to also stand proud. We want to be a country which anybody can say, we would like to emulate Kenya. We would like to grow one of the largest economies, and our people can do it. We don't want to be known as those people who wait for others to lead and others to follow. We must lead. We are a strong economy in East Africa. In all the countries I've visited, and since I sit in Geneva, in that HAPEX organization called ISA, when we meet there, the other pension funds which come from other parts of the world, I cringe when they talk about the numbers of their fund values. For example, I meet trustees and administrators and fund managers who manage the largest pension fund, California, Calbas, the largest in the world. Our small 1.3 trillion funds combined in Kenya is a drop in the ocean. When I meet the Norwegian pension fund, which has so much money that they were declaring that to one of the forums I attended, that they have enough savings, my good friends, for pensions for 25 years for the entire country, even if they did not even receive another shilling or dollar into that fund. It's amazing. You meet institutions from countries like Singapore, where we share a name, the CPF of Singapore. When you go to that country and find that they are not only solving the housing challenges in that highland city, but are completely for their members as well as for the rest of the residents by simply investing pension money in such facilitation. And everything else, including the airport, as investment by the pension fund. They've gone beyond that, and they make sure that they create an account within the pension fund called MediSafe, where the members are covered for full medical care from cradle to grave. And then you go beyond that. They have a separate account to deal with the other needs of a member, including taking loans to take care of the education needs of their children. I'm a believer that we must use all the tools at our disposal to solve our common problems. I don't believe we should fragment our institutions so that we can be able to everybody have a seat on the table, instead of putting together all our resources and creating a giant system, a system of pension, which really becomes an aspiration and a solution for our needs. There is no need. If we had all chosen to protect and create a large pension system in Kenya, the COVID-19 challenge which came with that challenge, I can tell you about the friends. Because what we would have simply done, when people lost employment, we would have allowed them a window to withdraw maybe about 6 months savings and they have a salary to tide them over these challenges until the COVID-19 problem is over. This is the Kenya we can build with our hands. Now, coming to what we are doing, we are innovating in all areas. We are innovating in IT, we are innovating in insurance, we are innovating in investments. We believe that our government should not be spending too much money on building structures and sinking our hard-earned taxes into fixed assets which can never give a return back. Because our government doesn't uses tax money to build some of the facilities, it therefore does not feel the pinch. And most of the civil servants do not therefore feel the weight of the payment of service charges and so forth, and therefore most of our government properties are actually dilapidated. Our officers who serve us live in very limited accommodations. Our medical institutions are always below bar, and all of us here will never choose as a first priority when they are sick to go to a public hospital. And we do something about it. In many institutions across the world, government funds should be used on service delivery, not putting up structures. You can see from the information we have shared with you that even our local private institutions are not spending their money in building offices for themselves. They use long-term money for pension funds, so that the pension fund members earn a return and have an assured customer in the name of their employer. While the employer can use the other money, the money they have, like for example the banks, to lend it and make money. We can substitute government expenditure on infrastructure by getting affordable long-term funding from the insurance sector, the banking sector, as well as the pension fund. The pension funds are the best because their money is patient. So that is what we are trying to show you guys here, that we don't want us to see people to imagine that Laptrust CPF group are going to throw in 5 billion of our members' money into a project for our employers, the county governments as well as the national government. Actually, the name change, Mr. Ashilo, I remember, happened when the president personally came to give us our soft launch. We expect that we shall do a big launch, but finally all the statutory approvals have been finalized, and we shall be able to convince the Nairobians that they need to be the leader not only in this region, but in Africa, and possibly later on in the world, in terms of what makes Kenyans, what makes people proud. When you go to those countries where they have done some of these major things, you can see the pride of the people when they talk about some of these things. I can recall when I went to China and I had to see for the first time live the Great Wall of China, built many centuries ago. Even the current Chinese children are proud that they are the only ones who their ancestors ever put up something like that, which has become one of the wonders of the world. So ladies and gentlemen, with that background, we want to say thank you very much for coming here today to get information about what we are doing. We are audited by PricewaterhouseCoopers as well as Deloitte in our auditors. And we're going to say that every year when we are doing our AGMs, we did one last year, even though there was COVID, we did one, which was virtual, and I think I'm going to thank Kenya Broadcasting Corporation for assisting us to reach out to our members that year. And we proved that actually virtual annual general meetings can be held. We normally do put on the media our financial reports for our members and the public to read. So equally you'll see that this is an institution which believes in transparency. And we challenge you and to ask the other pension funds and the other institutions of government and others to also be as open about what they are doing, just like CPF does. With those remarks, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for your question. Asante sana.